Stalking by Blake Pierce. Narrated by Sarah Kempton. Prologue. Kimberly Dent turned her collar up against the cold. She was out later than usual, but it was just a short, safe walk home from her friend Goldie Dowling's house. The night wasn't uncomfortably cold, and Kimberly liked the way the air stung her cheeks and she could see her frosty breath. It was actually very pretty, with the streetlights shining on what was left of last week's snowfall. Kimberly was sure her parents wouldn't mind that she was out so late. Her high school grades were good, and Mum and Dad trusted her to stay out of trouble. Not that there was a lot of trouble to get into, in a boring little town like Dalhart. Besides that, both of her parents would surely be asleep by now. Like most people in this neighbourhood, they were always early to bed. She was humming a pop tune, but she realised she didn't know what the song was. Something new I heard on the radio, I guess. It felt odd that a song she didn't even really know could get stuck in her head like this, but it seemed to happen a lot lately. Of course, someday that song would be as familiar as an old pair of shoes, and yet she'd never be able to remember exactly where or when she'd heard it for the first time. The thought made her sad somehow, but then the whole evening had seemed kind of sad. She and Goldie had done all the usual things they'd shared over the years, painted each other's nails, arranged each other's hair, danced to some of their favourite songs, played cards, watched some TV. But then they'd gotten cross with each other, or at least Goldie had gotten cross with Kimberly. And over nothing, Kimberly thought. All Kimberly had done was ask Goldie whether she was sure she wanted to stay here in Dalhart after they both graduated this spring. Goldie had snapped at her about that.
"Are you saying I shouldn't go right ahead and marry Clint?"
Goldie had demanded. Kimberly had been startled. She knew that Goldie and Clint were serious about each other. They'd been together since back in middle school. But Goldie hadn't said anything about marriage before. And if Clint had proposed to Goldie, she sure hadn't mentioned it to Kimberly. Of course, Kimberly knew it would make Goldie's parents happy if she married Clint and settled down right here in Dalhart and started having kids pretty much right away. But that had never seemed like Goldie's style. At least, not until tonight. Then, Kimberly had made the mistake of reminding Goldie of her long-time dream of heading out to New York or LA and becoming an actress.
"Oh, grow up,"
Goldie had said.
"We're too old for those kid dreams anymore."
Those words...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?